Today is 1st of July and it represents Republic Day for Ghanaians. Republic Day is a very important day in the history of Ghana. Let me give you a backstory on what Republic Day is. Republic Day commemorates a very important historic date in 1960 when the nation officially transitioned from a constitutional monarchy to a fully sovereign independent republic under Ghana's very first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. In layman's terms, Republic Day represents a day that the Queen's rule over Ghana, their rule in Ghanaian affairs, was officially dissolved and Ghana established its own republic constitution. You can just call it the day it became Ghana. It used to be a day that was observed as a holiday, but now it's become a commemorative holiday. We observe it, but it's not a holiday. And on Republic Day, mostly the nation organizes a Thanksgiving service to thank God. And yes, it's just a day of thanksgiving for the country called Ghana. And today is no different. Yes, the Republic Day ceremony, which is also known now as the National Thanksgiving Day, is being observed at the Flagstaff House. And the president has been speaking, and he's spoken about, especially in this moment of flood and a lot of adversities, this is a day that we really need to cherish. A day of reflection, a day of somber moments, just taking in everything that we've been through as a nation. And he also reiterated that praying doesn't mean the hard work stops, and that the more you pray, the harder you work, and the results will be there for all to see. So happy Republic Day to all Ghanaians worldwide and everywhere. Moving on to our next story. You remember when the FBI raided the country? They are still raiding it because we've heard news of a lot of people going into hiding because they are trying to stay under the radar. Yes, but when Dada Boots, the one we all know, when he was extradited to the US, news coming in is that he has pleaded guilty to fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and duping the elderly of their inheritance and money. Between March 2013 to September 2023, that's not a good look on the country, but he has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and duping the elderly people, especially people in Arizona in the United States, of money. And he's set to be sentenced in September. But word reaching us, news on the internet, states that he has accepted to refund back $4.4 million to some of the people that he defrauded, and maybe that would do well for his sentencing and he might get a lighter sentence. But that's what we've received. Dada Boat has pleaded guilty and will be sentenced in September. Moving on to our next story, Richard Niamakwe is in the news. Yes, his marital crisis, he has popped up in the news again. There are reports that his wife, or his ex-wife now, Joanna Quay, has filed a suit with the Accra High Court to recognize her 10% in Bill's microcredits, which she claims she started or invested with her husband when they started. Yes. So she's claiming for her profits, accountability. She wants to see the statement and wants to see if everything tallies since they are now divorced. She wants her money. What that means is that she just wants her money. She wants her money. If you've divorced me, divorce me with my money. Don't keep my money. Don't keep my 10%. because she was there through it all when they started, when it was in private jets and black stars and flying everywhere in luxury. She was there. So if she is due, if the 10% of the business belongs to her, just give her what she's due. I don't think this has to be taken to court. But if that's what it's come to, well, she has sued Richard Nee Amakwe through court for her percentage in the business. Now moving on to some sports news. Yes, we would never have an episode in this season without some sports news. Ivory Coast, they didn't make it. They didn't make it to the round of 16. They fell short to a Haaland winner just at the death. Just they were this close to taking it to extra time, but they lost to Norway, Haaland's Norway, by 2-1. They put up a good fight and we are proud of them. And France, one of the favorites of the competition, they beat Sweden by 3-0 with an Mbappe masterclass. And did you see, if that ball had gone in from Molise, that would have probably been one of the best goals the World Cup had ever seen. That was a really good goal there. Attempted bicycle kick, really good goal. And also, host nation, one of the host nations, Mexico, they beat Ecuador by 2-0. They are actually living up to the bill. They are there. They are just there. You could see when they play, you could see there's a team that really wants to prove a point. And Raul Jimenez had a goal. Hincapié was sent off for, yes, he covered his mouth and he spoke to the opposition. So after a VAR review, he was sent off because as part of FIFA's new rules, you don't talk to an opponent covering your mouth. It has everything you say needs to be audible for the microphones and the cameras to pick up. This brings us to the end of today's episode. Like, share, and subscribe, and come back for another episode. Thank you.